Joined now by United States Senator Marsha Blackburn. Good morning, Senator. Welcome. Always a pleasure to have you.
It is always so good to join you. Thank you for having me.
And today, not only are we talking to most of Tennessee that we always talk to, we have added the mighty 990 AM in Memphis, also on 107.9. So we're now covering the heart of your population center in Memphis. So, Senator Blackburn, keep coming back. I want to talk to you about SVB Bank. And I know you're not on the banking committee, but you're on the finance committee. This stinks to me.
Right.
It just stinks to me because Biden and Yellen said on Friday, no bailout. On Sunday, we get a bailout after Gavin Newsom and everyone from Silicon Valley works them over. If this was a bank in rural Tennessee, do you think they would have walked in and helped it?
They would never even have spoken about a bank in rural Tennessee. But this is more of Joe Biden's blue state bailouts. He continues to do this. Look at the student loan forgiveness program. Who is the main beneficiary of that? It is high-income earners. You have over 40% of the loans that are held in student loan forgiveness held by high-income earners, doctors, lawyers, PhDs, researchers. And so that was a gift to the rich. And then you look at SVB, and you find out their board is Democrats. They give to Democrat causes. They are more concerned with managing risk when it comes to diversity, equity, inclusion, and environment and social, but they don't get around to the G in that, which is governance. And that's where their emphasis was. That was their priority. Their priority was not on protecting those deposits and having deposits available for their depositors. And of course, they were primarily there for a lot of the tech and the green energy industry. It wasn't like a retail deposit bank that you would find with customers that are coming in, small businesses. That's not what you had in SVB.
The other bank that got bailed out over the weekend was Signature Bank in New York City. I was just reading about it. It caters to New York City real estate developers. So we have a blue bank in Silicon Valley and a blue bank in Manhattan getting blue money from blue Democrats. And I just think it stinks. And I think every minute of the day from Friday to Sunday, because of the huge evolution, has to be tracked down. Now, that's not going to happen in the Senate because neither the Finance Committee nor the Banking Committee is going to look hard at this, but I hope it happens in the House.
Well, there are members of us on those committees that will be looking hard at this. And you cannot continue to have two tiers of justice, two systems of government, two different types of responses. It is to be equal treatment for all, equal application of the law. And what you did, or what you saw with this SVB situation, with the Biden administration, with Yellen, was an immediate jump to, we're going to cover all deposits. Now think about that. Changing this premise and putting the federal government, the U.S. taxpayer, as number one in line to guarantee these deposits. And I want to know where these deposits are from. How many Chinese Communist Party banks are there? Are we protecting foreign investors?
Well, we are protecting Roku, which is, in my view, the dumbest company in America because they had $600 million in deposits in a bank with a 250,000. It's just astonishingly stupid.
Well, it all is. But see, when the left screws up, they depend on us to come bail us out and say, don't believe what you're seeing. Don't believe what you're seeing. We didn't really mess up. That's not us. It's not our fault. Nothing is ever their fault because of them.
We will. I hope you have hearings on it. I want to ask you about the second thing that James Comer came up with, a $3 million transfer to Hunter Biden, business associate that got divvied up among the Biden family, and there's an unnamed Biden member, could be the president, might be a brother or sister, might be James Biden, got part of it. Are you following this story? I mean, it's in the New York Post. It's nowhere else. Sean Hannity covered it. I'm just curious. Are you aware of the Hunter Biden investigation?
Yes, we are aware of that, and we're so proud of our colleagues in the House who are stepping up and moving forward with this, even though you've got the mainstream media beating up on them left and right, 6 ways from Sunday. I mean, they are all over them, trying to blame them for divisiveness and mean politics. But what we have to realize is there is this paper trail, there is this money trail that goes from the Biden family it traces back to some of these Chinese Communist Party officials. And when Joe Biden, as a candidate, stood there and said he had nothing to do with Hunter, he had nothing to do with Hunter's business dealings. He was very proud of his son for his recovery, things of that nature. And then to get this information and to see that this is all a fabrication on Joe Biden's part, and that there was a trail and there was a participation of the family in the receipt of these funds.
Now, Senator, you're on Judiciary. You had Merrick Garland in front of you. Did anyone ask him why there hasn't been a special counsel appointed for Hunter Biden yet? It's like straight out of central casting special counsel application. The regs apply to this. Why isn't there a special counsel for Hunter Biden?
And I don't recall if any of my colleagues asked if there was a special counsel for Hunter or not. I went after Garland on the 2 tiers of justice and how we seem to have one participation in one regard and not in another. And
does he seem infirm to you?
Pardon me?
Does the Attorney General seem flustered and infirm to you? I just was startled by how...
Very frustrated. And he, even when I was asking him about why he wasn't going after some of these people that are firebombing pregnancy centers, he went on to say, well, it was easier to find people who protested in the day than people that did crimes at night. Ooh. You don't need the Attorney General under oath saying it's hard to find people that do crimes at night.
Yeah, but were you shaken by his... I mean, it was like when Mueller showed up to testify on the investigation into Donald Trump, and everyone said, wow, that guy, it doesn't look good. Merrick Garland did not look good to me, Senator Blackburn. No, did he look good to you?
No, he did not look good to me, and I left that hearing saying, thank goodness he's not on the U.S. Supreme Court.
Well, that's well put. So, Senator, I want to close by Ukraine. I had Marco Rubio on yesterday, Tom Cotton coming up, both are Ukraine hawks. Where are you on aid to Ukraine?
I think that what we have to do is be sure that Vladimir Putin does not win this thing. We need to have our friends in the EU and NATO step up and be more proactive on their participation there. I do think that it is noteworthy that the first 3 contributions to the NATO Common Fund this year came from Japan, Australia, and New Zealand, because they know that the CCP is watching very closely what happens in Ukraine, and they're wanting to see if the U.S. is going to stay with this.
So is it in our strategic national interest to defeat Putin in Ukraine, not to carry the war into Russia, but to defeat Putin in Ukraine? Is that in our strategic national interest?
It is important that we have transparency and accountability around what is happening in Ukraine, and it is important that we do not give Vladimir Putin a win.
Marsha Blackburn, Senator Extraordinaire, thank you. The Mighty 990 in Memphis thanks you, as does Nashville and everybody else, Sparta, everywhere I am in Tennessee. They love hearing from Marsha Blackburn. Thank you, Senator.
Take care.